At an age when most people are told to slow down, to step aside, to accept that their best years are behind them, one man made a decision that felt almost reckless. Not bold by the world's standards. Reckless. He had no money to fall back on. No powerful connections. No safety net. Just a recipe, an aging body, and a belief that refused to go quiet. While others prepared for retirement, he prepared for rejection. This message matters because somewhere right now, someone is counting years instead of possibilities. Someone believes the clock has already run out. That success belongs to the young, the fast, the lucky. This story speaks to those who feel late to life. To those restarting when everyone else seems settled. To those carrying dreams that feel heavier with every passing year. This is not just a story about business. It's a reminder that purpose does not recognize age. Colonel Harlan Sanders lived a life full of struggle long before the world ever knew his name. He lost his father at a young age. He bounced between jobs. He failed repeatedly at business. Nothing about his early life hinted at greatness. By the time he reached his 60s, society would have labeled him finished. Used up. A man whose story had already been written. But what the world saw as an ending, he saw as a beginning. At 65 years old, when most people are winding down, he packed his belongings into a car. He carried with him a fried chicken recipe he believed in with everything he had left. No guarantees. No applause. Just a quiet determination. He drove from restaurant to restaurant, town to town, knocking on doors and asking strangers to believe in something he believed in alone. And then came the rejections. One after another. Day after day. Week after week. Restaurant owners turned him away before he could finish his sentence. Some didn't even taste the food. Others told him he was wasting his time. Too old. Too late. Too unrealistic. Each rejection felt personal. Each one chipped away at comfort, security, and pride. But it never touched his resolve. Imagine the internal war. Sleeping in his car at night. Waking up unsure where the next meal would come from. Watching younger entrepreneurs succeed while he struggled to be taken seriously. Feeling invisible. Feeling dismissed. Feeling tired in a way rest couldn't fix. This is the part of the story most people don't talk about. The loneliness. The doubt. The moments when quitting would have been the most logical decision. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because rejection convinces them to stop. Rejection whispers that effort is embarrassing, persistence is pointless, and hope is foolish. Colonel Sanders heard those whispers too. He just refused to obey them. Here's the truth we avoid: success does not respond to urgency. It responds to endurance. Time doesn't cancel dreams, discouragement does. And every time Sanders heard no, he didn't hear the end. He heard confirmation that he was still trying. Still moving. Still alive in the pursuit. 1,009 times, he was told no. Let that sink in. 1,009 moments when stopping would have made sense. When walking away would have been understandable. When society would have nodded and said, he tried. But persistence isn't about being reasonable. It's about being relentless. The turning point wasn't sudden. It wasn't dramatic. It didn't arrive with fireworks. It came quietly, when one person finally listened. One person finally tasted the chicken. One person finally said yes. And that yes didn't erase the 1,000 no's, it validated the courage to survive them. From that single moment, momentum began to build. Slowly at first. Then steadily. Until the recipe once rejected across the country became Kentucky Fried Chicken. A global name. A symbol. Not just of success, but of refusal to quit. Colonel Sanders didn't succeed because he had advantages. He succeeded because he endured disadvantages longer than most people are willing to. His age didn't weaken him, it sharpened him. His failures didn't disqualify him, they prepared him. His persistence in later life wasn't desperation. It was faith. And that's the perspective shift most people need to hear: being late does not make you lost. Being older does not make you irrelevant. Struggle does not mean stop. Sometimes, it means you're closer than you think. So if you feel behind, understand this: you are not running out of time. You are building strength. If you feel rejected, you are not being denied, you are being tested. If you feel tired, rest if you must, but do not surrender the dream that still speaks to you. Because the world does not decide when your story ends. Failure does not decide when your story ends. Age does not decide when your story ends. Only quitting does. And as long as you're willing to knock on one more door, take one more step, believe one more time, your story is still being written.